Welcome party members to the ultimate Nemlei game tier list. Kind of like the last one in which we rated the endings, this one will be all about just the games themselves. And honestly, I expect this video to be pretty short. I'll probably release it the same day as the other tier list, so who knows, if you're watching this one first, definitely check out the other one as well. Yeah, at first I was thinking about making this a add-on to the end of the last video, but I was like, it's different content. People might be coming here for just this video. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. Starting us off, Jack in a Castle. Honestly, I had lower expectations going into this game, because everything I'd heard before I started playing it was, oh yes, this is Nemlei's least favorite game. Oh yeah, it's just kind of okay. I play this game when I'm horny. You know, the usual fun stuff that you hear about a game before you start playing it. But having completed the game, gotten all the endings, I would say this is honestly probably one of the most goated Nemlei games out there. It is the one that, at least for me, was most captivating, and I was like, yes, I want more of this content. And the fact that we had so much agency over Marion throughout the experience really just elevated that experience, at least for me. I did like having so many different choices, so many different dialogue routes to go through. It made the game very enjoyable, and then also having the multiple different characters you could romance, and just how different their routes were. I thought it was going to be like the other Nemlei games. We kind of play them in a backwards order here, but going through the other games, you would choose a different dialogue option, but it was pretty much the same story through and through. In Jack in a Castle, you choose a different route, you're going down an entire hour-long plus, visual novel, at least for me at my slow reading speed, to get to the ending. So that was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Jack in a Castle, S tier. And then, kind of moving into the opposite direction, we have Divilethion, one of the shorter Nemlei games that followed up Jack in a Castle. And as much as I like the story, the settings, I love the cult ideology, the making the choice of sacrificing our brother or to escape with him, the ending of Divilethion was so lacking for me that I'm like, it could be an A tier, but it's going down an S because there's so much more that could have been done with this game. Like, after seeing Jack in a Castle and how extensive that game was, Divilethion felt very rushed, especially when it got to the ending, where it's just like, alright, yep, you're here, oh, you escaped, you went on magical adventures, but who knows what they hold? I'm not gonna tell you, use your imagination. Or, oh yep, you killed your brother, you lived with Divilethion. Like, personally, I would have loved to see the killing the brother Divilethion ending being almost like a branched ending from the main story. It's you went along with Divilethion's plan, the game ended right there. But if you escaped with your brother, then you would go through the trials and tribulation of leaving the cult, having to survive maybe outside of it for a bit. But honestly, I mean, that's just my opinion, that's kind of my nitpick on it. So it could have been better, but it's getting a C from me. And then we rebound with Better Half. Better Half, the game where we split ourselves in two, funniest shit I've ever seen. And yeah, have to decide whether we want to merge back with our other self or stay separated and live out a very short life because our soul is burning itself from both ends. And with this game, see, and this game's a tough one because... And this game is honestly one of those interesting ones, like, as someone who's been through, like, depressive stages, like, in their life, it definitely connected with me a lot more than I know some other people where they might not have had those same phases, not have had those same feelings. So for me, it's definitely going in A tier because Theo came off very relatable, whereas in other games, it's just kind of like, oh, yep, that's a character we're playing, and you couldn't really envision yourself in his shoes. So Better Half is getting a solid A tier. Plus, it kind of has the same thing as Jack in a Castle, where we do get plenty of choices that can kind of sway the story as we go along. Plus, the Theo x Theo ending is pretty funny in that game, so that did give it a couple extra points in my book. And then after that, we have Candy Scabs, the Halloween somewhat trick-or-treating game, where we get to make the choice of either stealing a child's teeth or not. You know, the usual fun stuff you do on most Halloween nights. I mean, you guys do that as well, right? I sure hope I'm not the only one. But for this game, compared to Divilethion and Better Half, It's definitely not as good as Better Half, but it is better than Divilethion, so we're kind of either getting a low A or a high B for me. Because at the end of the day, we do get quite a few story options, and I do like how the start menu does kind of give you more info on like, oh yes, are you fostering a friendship, or are you going towards revenge and evil? Whatever the the two candies revealed to us there. So between the two, it's one of those tough choices. I'm kind of teetering between A and B. See, this is where my indecision with these tier lists come in, because I could see it going A, I could also see it going B. I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, because I know this tier list is pretty short, I would say this is definitely B+ to A-. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it into B for now. Because, I mean, we honestly don't have too many games here where we're not going to end up like the last tier list where A was actually like 2 columns because of my choices there at the end. But yeah, I am truly indecisive when it comes to these. So yeah, I tend to rate things a little bit higher than, you know, who knows, maybe I should, but that's kind of my feelings on it. It's hard to have a game or an ending that like really doesn't jive with me. I'm like, oh yeah, these are usually pretty good. So yeah, these ratings are 100% accurate. And then moving on, we have No Good Noelle, the story of us becoming an apprentice snowflake maker and maybe betraying our friend and marrying an imp, or sealing the imp away forever with no hope of escape because he definitely won't repent. This game is very interesting for me because while the story of No Good Noelle was good, I will definitely give it that, the story was good, the lack of actual choices through the game was like, what the heck? I want to have more agency in there, and I believe it's like 2 choices throughout the entire game. Just felt very lacking in my own opinion. That definitely drops No Good Noelle down for me. And then on top of it, it wasn't very long. It was a very short visual novel. So I think No Good Noelle is actually going to go below Candy Scabs, but above Divilethion at like the top of C. I know No Good Noelle is very beloved by Nemlei fans, but the fact that it was just okay, here's a 2-hour long visual novel, no real choices, no real player agency in there, definitely knocks it down for me. That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy the story, as like with all of these, like if we were to put it in like a proper like, oh yes, enjoyment order, they would all just be like, yes, here they are, right there in perfect order. But no, I have to be a little bit more critical here, so it does get dropped down a bit. But I will stand by that the Ivy ending is best ending. Fight me on it down in the comments below. The Yule ending was still good though. I mean, birthing the demon imp undead hybrid baby was pretty funny. But I'm a sucker for that sweet Yuri ending, because that's totally what happens after the ending. And then we move on to probably the most decisive game out of all of Nemlei's games, the Coffin of Andy and Leyley. The game that feels like a culmination of all of Nemlei's works, where it's like, alright, yes, we have the cult, we have the weird incesty subplot, we have the murder of people that we care about, you know, all the usual things that occur in all these games. We have the cult stuff of Divilethion, we have the incestuous part of Better Half, we have the murdering people we care about in games like Candy Scabs, or even like betraying people in No Good Noelle, or even Divilethion again. It is very much a Coffin of Andy and Leyley, I don't know, 0.5 take, where it's like, yes, this could very much be the building blocks to this game. But honestly, I feel like all these games were kind of funneled together to improve the Coffin of Andy and Leyley experience. I've seen where some people don't like that it's not a straight visual novel and has more RPG elements, kind of in the vein of like a Corpse Party or To the Moon, any of those kinds of games. I don't know why, those were the first references that came to mind, so there you have it. I think out of all the games, I enjoyed the Coffin of Andy and Leyley the most, and it's gonna go at the top of S tier. Which I don't think is a surprise to most people, but who knows, it's definitely the best in my book. I do enjoy the different take on the visual novel genre. Being able to walk around the world makes it, you know, feel even better with player agency, as well as being able to make the choices that influence the endings throughout the game, especially the ones that we saw in Chapter 2, which makes Chapter 3 even more exciting. But there you have it, my grand tier list of all the Nemlei games that is completely absolute and undeniably correct. But definitely let me know what your tier list would be down in the comments below. I'm always interested to see them. I know there's a lot of different opinions as to which game is the best, which is the worst. So yeah, I want to see them down below. But yeah, before we wrap on up, I'm not sure if the party members have seen this yet. I mean, this came out as of yesterday at the time of recording, probably 2 days ago when this is actually released. Who knows? I don't know what my upload schedule on this video is going to be. But we did get confirmed a 4th episode, because I guess chapter 3 is going to be rather lengthy, so it's going to be released in 2 content updates separately. So now we'll have the episode 3s released and then episode 4. So that's pretty exciting to see. Definitely means we're going to have a lot more Coffin of Andy and Leyley content in the future. So I hope you are all looking forward to that. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for coming out today, party members, and thank you to all the new ones that have been joining us recently. I'm not sure how many more of these tier list videos I'm going to make. I saw one on the different characters of the Nemleyverse, so that could be a fun one to do. But outside of that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. My name is Haven, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.